Games are praised by the media not just by their quality or the developer's dedication to following source material, but to the inclusivity the developers put into the game and how modern titles are, which is, of course, absurd. A lot of the media outlets now are willing to ignore core problems with a game if it pushes their narratives, but the most recent diversified and modernized game to release was the Saints Row reboot, which so far has been a massive failure since it's gotten roasted on social media, and now an article has released talking about how, quote, Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row are becoming more inclusive and some gamers don't like it. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is an article by CBC. It says Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row are becoming more inclusive and some gamers don't like it. Now, I'm all for inclusivity in entertainment. All types of people can be represented on screen, but the problem is the way these writers are implementing things like diversity and inclusivity into their titles. They're not doing it naturally. Instead of writing great stories and having diversity organically part of the story, it's instead presented as a narrative, and they want you to know constantly that this story is diverse. Ultimately, these companies do believe this message will not only make them uncancelable, but it will lead to money, and that's why they keep using terms like modern audiences, because they actually believe it's something that exists when it doesn't. It says, gamers have been desperate for information on the newest Grand Theft Auto game, but when reports emerged that the next installment of the video game franchise, in which hardened criminals wreak havoc with car chases, gunfights, and plenty of curse words, will co-star a playable female character, a wave of negativity on social media and YouTube soon followed. Now, I did cover this initial situation, but I wasn't really talking about the fact that there was a female lead or a co-female lead, whatever they decide to do if this rumor is true or not, because I'm perfectly fine with a female being a lead character. I have absolutely no problems with that. That doesn't mean something is woke. That doesn't mean that something is unsavable or they've, tried to throw all of these things in our faces, because if this character is good and she fits into Grand Theft Auto, then I have no problems with it. Now, as the title of my video on this topic a month ago says, Grand Theft Auto 6 Goes Woke will tone down offensive jokes and content to be sensitive. I didn't even mention in the title the fact that they were going with a female lead, and in the video, I only mention that because that's not my biggest worry. My largest worry with the situation is the fact that they are toning down offensive jokes and content to be more sensitive and to appeal more to modern audiences. That's not the Grand Theft Auto we know and the Grand Theft Auto we want. We saw that happen with the Saints Row reboot, and well, that's going terribly for Volition. According to a report from Jason Schreier, a sequel to Grand Theft Auto 5 will feature a Latino woman as one of the game's main characters. Again, I have absolutely no problem with that. The report also said the developer is tweaking the next game's humor. This is the giant problem people have had. Previous GTA games grew criticisms for jokes labeled as sexist, racist, and transphobic. Rockstar has apparently committed to not punching down on marginalized communities as much as past installments. I, of course, think that this is freaking ridiculous because Grand Theft Auto got popular because of what you were doing in the game, the edgy humor, the offensiveness. In the title, you could do basically whatever the hell you wanted, and it didn't matter because this was Grand Theft Auto, and the same thing happened with Saints Row. Yes, everyone's called Saints Row a Grand Theft Auto knockoff, but it got popular because of its edgy humor, its crazy writing, its just in general craziness. There's been a lot of sexism as a result of this. Things that people are posting, potential first mission ideas for the female protagonist to wash the dishes. Ooh, that's so terrible. Making a joke about women washing dishes. Wow, I'm so offended. I mean, come on, is that the best thing you have to complain about? People have been very excited for the new release, but unfortunately, as is the way for the gaming community, some people have been a lot more negative. Yes, people are allowed to be negative. People are allowed to criticize new content that comes out. It's just as simple as that. You'll probably need to learn to just deal with that in the future. It says, female leads more common today. According to his report, the new game is at least 2 years away from release, and Rockstar and its publishing company, Take-Two Interactive, previously confirmed the new game is in the works but have not released any other details. And now, the article goes on to talk about Saints Row, which I have heavily criticized on this channel. I have loved the previous Saints Row games. I loved 1, 2, and 3. 4 was very different, but I still appreciated it. And now we're getting this reboot, and it feels like 20 steps back. Just this week, another game series attempted to refresh itself with mixed results. The problem with this franchise refreshing itself is the fact that developers went on social media and said, if you don't like it, don't buy it. We're proud of what we're creating, and we don't care if you like it or not. You're just an istinophobe if you don't like the direction we went in. Unfortunately, the rating is mediocre, the new characters are terrible, and it also launched bugged and broken. So, I mean, what here is to be positive about, really? Of course, it's going to launch with mixed results. If we go on over to Metacritic, right now the Xbox One version of the game is sitting at a 1.6 user score, and of course, this is on many platforms. PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Series X, Stadia, and all of these scores on Metacritic are different, but there are no scores above a 2.6 from at least what I saw. I mean, this game is not loved right now. There are a lot of people who are very disappointed with it. It says Saints Row is the 5th in a series that debuted in 2006 as a competitor to the Grand Theft Auto games. Critics originally labeled it as a GTA clone given its similar mission structure and tone. Later sequels differentiated themselves with a greater emphasis on slapstick comedy and science fiction twists. Early trailers revealed the newest installment, the first in 9 years, would be a hard reboot breaking away from previous numbered sequels. And of course, they go into the cast and how diverse and inclusive they are. Gone were the previous game's cool guys and hot girls wielding a giant purple sex toy like a baseball bat, replacing them with a quartet of millennial do-gooders who spend their time off playing games, singing, dancing, things that nobody really cares about. These are not the types of characters I want to play as in this type of title. Of course, though, the new cast is distinctly non-white, and players can customize the appearance and voice of the boss, whom they control throughout the game, including options for male, female, and gender-neutral features. Like GTA reports, some fans did not take the changes well. Critical reviews didn't show much love for the game either. A giant problem isn't just the content that we're getting with the characters and the story, but it's also the fact that it is broken. If this game didn't launch broken, I definitely think there would be more critics praising this title for its diversity, for its inclusivity, for the changes that they decided to make. But either way, people are not impressed with the characters and just the general direction they went in. I know I was very disappointed, and I decided to ultimately not purchase this title because I have a lot of love for the franchise, but this did not look like it was worth the money. Clearly, Saints Row launched, and it was not the game that people wanted. It is getting absolutely ratioed online. People are leaving very negative reviews, laughing at it on social media. Will Grand Theft Auto 6 be better? Only time will tell. We don't have a lot of information on it right now, but people are definitely worried. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.